Chapter 3 The Girl in the Photo. Back home, Jang Minjian went to his mother's room. She remembered that her mother had a small wooden box that seemed to contain something. Now that I think about it, the contents must have something to do with her. Taking out the wooden box from the cabinet, Jang Minjian opened it carefully. Inside are two small clothes, as well as a photo. The photo shows a very young-looking girl leading a girl of 3 or 4 years old with a baby in her arms. That young girl is very much like Lu Xia. Jang Minjian's body trembled and stood up. What the hell is going on? How could the adoptive mother have a photo of Lu Xia? Could it be that the little girl on it is herself? Jang Minjian thought, pinched the photo and ran out of the door. And went straight to the hospital. When the uncle saw Jang Minjian coming to him, he was surprised and delighted for a while. Jang Minjian coldly asked him to come out. The two came to the back garden of the hospital. Jang Minjian said that she could do the test. And if the match was successful, she was even willing to donate bone marrow. But the premise was that she wanted to figure out one thing. "What's up?" Uncle asked suspiciously. Jang Minjian took out the photo and asked who the people in the photo were. The uncle stared at the photo, and his face changed all of a sudden. He stammered that the woman was the little nanny in the family. The little girl was Jang Minjian, and the baby was her younger brother. This was taken shortly after the little nanny came to the house. Before her adoptive mother adopted Jang Minjian, she wanted a photo, and her uncle sent it over. At that time, she was only 3 years old, and her aunt gave birth to a son. So she couldn't keep busy, so she hired a nanny. "I wonder how she died," Jang Minjian said word by word. The uncle opened his mouth wide in astonishment and asked her why she was asking this. "It's been more than 10 years. Jang Minjian stared at him deadly, saying that he not only wanted to ask, but also asked carefully. Otherwise, she would never recognize him as an uncle. Uncle was silent. He lit a cigarette, and after smoking a cigarette, he seemed to have made up his mind and talked about the past more than 10 years ago. When Jang Minjian was 2 years old, her parents died, and her uncle took her home. At that time, my uncle's factory was prosperous, and he was busy taking care of the factory every day and rarely went home. Of course, there is another reason for this: he likes other women. What he didn't expect was that his aunt was faintly aware of this incident. And as long as he returned late, she would beat and scold Jang Minjian. He didn't find out about it until the little nanny suddenly quit his job. He asked again and again to find out that his aunt abused Jang Minjian. After learning about this, he warned his aunt that if he dared to touch Jang Minjian again, he would kill her. And he promised to keep the nanny with double salary. In this way, the days were quiet for half a month. Unexpectedly, one day half a month later, the little nanny suddenly jumped off the building and died. He was suspicious of his wife, but he was afraid that the matter would be too big to end. So he sent Jang Minjian out. Jang Minjian looked at her uncle and suddenly smiled coldly. "I'm afraid that's not the case, right? On the day the nanny died, you had a tryst with your lover?" My aunt found out and went crazy. She hit me in the face. And that day, she almost killed me. But at this time, the little nanny returned. She was terrified. She couldn't stop the crazy aunt. But she tried desperately to protect me. She was pushed to the balcony, and her aunt had long hated her and pushed her down in a frenzy. The uncle was stunned and asked her how she knew for a long time. Jang Minjian stood up, turned around and left. The first night I slept in the old man's house, I saw this scene in my dream. She thought it was just a nightmare, but she didn't expect it to be true. End. On the weekend, Jang Minjian took a bus and came to Taoy village for the second time. The village chief was very happy to see her. But when she said that she was going to Lu Yukai's house, the village chief was stunned. He said that Mrs. Lu also died half a year after her daughter's death. The crooked neck trees in front of the grave were all thickened. Zhang Minjian was shocked and said that she had been staying at her house last time. The village chief laughed and said that she and the other two people clearly lived in the team headquarters. Could she be a demon? Seeing that Zhang Minjian didn't believe it, the village chief pointed to the two houses that had collapsed early on the slope of the mountain, and said that it was Lu Yukai's home. Led Zhang Minjian over, pointed to a pile of broken bricks and tiles. And the village chief asked her if she lived here. Zhang Minjian looked around the courtyard and saw 2 bundles of firewood in the corner, which she had chopped before leaving. In the house, there was some change pressed under a piece of bluestone, which she also left. After being stunned for a long time, Zhang Minjian turned around and slowly said to the village chief, "Lu Xia, you didn't commit suicide. She was innocent, she died to save me. And I had to tell everyone in the village about it."
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and put notification on to watch more videos. If you have similar experience, please comment and let me know your experience.